Hello and welcome to another episode of Shop Talk with Twisted.
Today we're going to talk about installing a full armor front drive shaft on a 2012 Outlander 800R XT. Ran into a slight issue. I know a lot of you have seen the video out there where they say, oh, you just loosen up the bottom motor mount on the engine, which I did. Removed it, and you can pry the motor up just enough to get the drive shaft out. Well, that all worked great and I got the drive shaft out, but when I went to install the full armor drive shaft, there wasn't enough clearance. And the reason that the full armor drive shaft won't fit in there is because the end piece, like this here, is solid. It's not cut away. It's not cut away. The front differential had to be loosened up and moved in order to be able to drop the drive shaft in. What it is there's these cups right here that your axle goes in. You got this one here, and then you got one in the front. There's a bolt that holds those cups onto the ends of the shafts, the PTO shaft. And this is set up the same way on this side. And that's the reason that the aftermarket shaft wouldn't go in without moving the front differential. So anybody that's planning on upgrading the front drive shaft, be prepared to move the front differential. So what I ended up having to do was I had to undo the bolts for the front differential. We had to loosen that up. There's a bolt there, that's a bottom bolt. There's another bolt here, and then up here on the top, if you can see it, there's one right there. There's 3 bolts that hold that front differential in place. I had to take those out so that I could move that front differential enough to get that differential forward to get that other drive shaft in. Then what we did was, when we put this drive shaft in, I think you'll notice here, it's a little bit different. There's no metal straps on there. Plastic wire ties is what I've used on the boots. I'm really liking that boot on the front. That's a heavy duty boot. If you're doing any work with these front drive shafts, I suggest you get 2 of these, one for here, one for there. You're not going to get any movement on that shaft back and forth. With one of them, that's pretty solid, so I'm good with that. But if you have one of these and one of these, it's going to take quite a lot to get that to move in either direction. This is flimsy. This here, that's pretty stiff stuff. I think we're good with just one, but if I had to do it again, in fact, I'm going to order one, so if I ever have to take it out again, I'm going to put one on this side as well. But back to where we were. We moved the differential. That all went well. Things went back together better than what was expected. The only thing is that we had to do, or what I chose to do, is this plastic front piece here. In order to get that out, you got to take the whole front of the machine apart. Take the front bumper right off in order to get that plastic piece out. I wasn't going to do that again because that's about 3 more hours worth of work, because nothing wants to line up and nothing wants to go back together. So what I did is I cut a hole in the plastic here and a hole in the plastic over on that side so that I could access the A-frame bolts. Why, you ask? If you look right down here, there's your A-frame bolt, and you try to get that bolt out of there for the front differential, there's not enough clearance. It does not come out. So you got to back them bolts off just to get that out on both sides. Unfortunately, they just didn't engineer that in. If they had left that bolt coming through the A-frame a little bit shorter, there'd have been plenty of clearance, but there just isn't enough. So I'm hoping this is going to help some of you people out, and you don't learn by trial and error like I did. So with that being said, this concludes Shop Talk with Twisted.